Will their channels be deleted? That's something a lot of people have been wondering about the channels from popular VTuber news reporters False ID and Kyo. You might know them. As for the reason why, both of them had videos removed due to copy strikes instigated by Anycolor, the parent company behind VTuber agency Nijisanji. And now their channels are at risk for being permanently deleted because of this. Now I'm done channeling my inner False ID. I just want to go over this entire story because I find this situation a little bit worrying and confusing, especially coming from a big corporation like Nijisanji and Anycolor. So I wanted to make a video about it to inform everyone about the situation, especially as I seem to be sharing audiences with Kyo and False ID. So what happened is that on February 13th, Kyo had 10 of his videos removed by copystrike instigated by Anycolor. And about 10 hours later, another 10 were removed, resulting in 4 copyright strikes, which would result in his channel being terminated in the next week. So for people that don't know, YouTube uses this 3 strikes and you're out system. So if you have 3 or more copy strikes or community guideline strikes, your channel will be removed from the website, which is a harsh system, but that's not what I want to get into today. And just looking at the videos that were being removed, it seemed to be targeted at any type of criticism or non-positive videos from him about Nijisanji. At first, it seemed to be like a standalone issue as only he was being targeted. One of the theories was that Kyo actually uses the agency names in the titles and the thumbnails, and that might have taken something off in Anycolor. But then 10 days later, False also had 10 of his videos removed. The removal only resulted in 2 copy strikes, so he was still able to make a video about it and raise awareness about the situation and inform his audience, and at least have a chance to like say, hey, if this is the end of things these YouTubers say, it has been a ride and I want to thank you, and I at least wanted to say goodbye, you know, something that Kyo wasn't able to do. As for the reasoning behind these copy strikes, it turned out that it wasn't about the videos itself, but about the thumbnails, specifically the PNGs used in the thumbnails. All of these are linking back to the official talent pages on the Nijisanji website. And we see this once again in the copyright strikes that False has received, all about the thumbnails and the PNGs used in them. But going back to what we said at the beginning, now what we know is about the thumbnails and not the contents of the videos, it still seemed a little bit odd that they were only striking the videos with the non-positive stuff in it. Having watched most of the videos that got taken down, because I watched both Kyo and False ID on basically an upload-to-upload basis, none of them felt like actually bad stuff. And obviously nobody is completely unbiased, so you can figure out what their opinion is about the situations, but none of it is trying to instigate drama or slander or trying to defame the talents. If anything, I think that both of them have a lot of respect for all these big VTubers. In a lot of cases, they even go out of the way to expressly say, hey, don't go and harass the talents or blame the talents for this, let the company handle it, or it's nothing that they can do about it. It's out of their hands. It's not their fault. An observation that was made amidst all of this is that videos about Hugo, a talent that graduated December last year, were not being targeted. And the only reasoning that we really can think of is that all of the claims are linking back to the talent pages on their official website, of which there's no longer one of Hugo. Apparently there is like a limitation in the copyright claim system that they cannot do it without professional links. So on Kyo's channel, you can still see these videos about Hugo, and on False's channel, those were still up as well, but he has since privated all of the videos with Nijisanji in the thumbnail, even the ones that weren't striked, just in the fear that they might go back for seconds. False even said on his stream that he wants to reinstigate all of the videos that he has privated, but he wanted to change the thumbnails, and instead of using the official PNGs, he wanted to use fan art, of which he already changed the thumbnails all he had on the videos with Hugo. But seeing that he also privated the videos from Hugo and has since not released any with updated thumbnails, I think he's playing it safe, or don't want to risk Nijisanji going out of different ways to still copyright claim it, because even if it's fan art, it's based on the likeness of something they do hold copyright to. And I think that's also part of the Nijisanji fan art policy. I think most of the people that are watching this and have seen this situation, that we can all sort of agree that it is not about the thumbnails or the copyrighted content in the thumbnails. If it was, like Kyo said, if they wanted to remove my content because of copyright and no other reason, why only remove videos where I discuss unfortunate situations such as these, but skip over videos painting them in a good light with me interacting with their talents? Like, if this really was about copyright, why only strike some of the videos and not all? It isn't even that they went and copystrike the 20 latest videos about Nijisanji, because they left some up in between, which is honestly quite interesting. And all of this is coming almost 3 months after Anycolor uncovered decided to cooperate and taking measures to eradicate slander and defamation about their lifers. But it still feels weird. Even if this was part of that campaign, I don't feel like either Kyo or False are doing any type of slander or defamation. Removing the videos through a copyright system also feels like they're misusing the copyright system. Like, a lot about this story doesn't really hold up to one another. If it was about copyright, why only strike certain videos? If this was about the contents of the videos, why do it through the copyright system, which seems a bit wrong, especially as the copyright system has been abused time and time again by a lot of companies, even people that don't even own the copyright but are pretending to be the people that own the copyright just to mess with people. And if this is part of their cooperation to take on slander and defamation, what do they consider slander and defamation? Because if even reporting on the events happening without trying to instigate drama or mixing too much of your own opinion into it, what can we still say? And what is the line? Because I do believe that if they think, oh, we don't want these thumbnails for whatever reason, they are in their right to remove it because they still own the copyrighted content. I'm just of the opinion that if you're gonna draw a line, draw it straight and draw it evenly. Because I have seen thumbnails of Nijisanji from clips, actual drama channels, and just other coverage that are putting the Nijisanji lifers in very compromising or sexual contexts or even their own company context. And the videos, the clips might be nothing burgers, but I've seen so much worse. And like I said at the beginning, it made somewhat sense for them to target Kyo about it because he uses the company name in the thumbnails and the titles. Maybe they didn't want that, but they also are striking False, who actively doesn't for that reason. So it doesn't really add up. Then there has been talk about like Nijisanji guidelines, Japanese copyright laws where like fair use doesn't exist. Because the main defense here for Kyo and for False is press freedom, journalistic freedom, fair use because it's transformative content and all sorts of things. They're by far not the worst out there, even if you don't like them and what they do. And honestly, they're just covering events that are happening, both positive and negative. If a company is going out of their way to only remove the stuff that they don't like, that feels like silencing. And silencing critics is never really a good idea. Like Kyo is saying here, I've seen a lot of people pointing out Nijisanji's guidelines for using the talents and thumbnails in YouTube, which gives them rights to take down videos on YouTube. However, these guidelines don't overrule laws outside of Japan. And again, if they really want to take down my channel for copyright infringement, why only strike videos that discuss their mishaps? Like, even if fair use doesn't exist in Japan, Kyo doesn't live in Japan. Neither is YouTube a Japanese company. Even though this entire situation with Kyo and False is a lot bigger than just the copyright issue, I do want to take a look at this situation from last year because it also involves Japanese copyright law and how YouTube handled it with their creators. So last year, a YouTuber called Totally Not Mark, he's an anime YouTuber, got 150 copyright strikes. That's a whole lot. Like what we saw with False and Kyo, they got 1 copyright strike per 5 videos removed. But getting 150 copyright strikes, that's a lot. Like, even if you try and battle all of them, only 3 of them have to be declined for your channel to be terminated. In December 2021, over 150 videos by Totally Not Mark have been claimed by Toei Animation on grounds of copyright infringement. It's a Japanese animation company and it has the rights to shows like One Piece, Dragon Ball, etc. And this guy reviews anime and anime episodes. Like a lot of anime YouTubers, he uses footage from the anime as like B-roll to show his point, context, etc., which is very common. This is not limited to anime YouTubers. A lot of YouTubers that are covering games and TV shows do this. After some back and forth with YouTube, heartfelt pleading with Toei, Mark eventually had to step away from the situation and privated his initial videos discussing the matter. Like, he just gave up because honestly, stuff like this is exhausting, it's disheartening, it's distressing, and at some point it's whether or not you still have the will to fight, even though it's years of your work and it's also the principle of it, but you're just one person against like a giant company in a different country. However, in January 2022, which is a year ago, YouTube had reinstated his affected videos, but it did something special to it. They had those videos blocked in Japan, completely eradicating the complete issue that Toei was facing. Because in the US, and I think most of the Western world, we have this thing called fair use, where you can use copyrighted content if you use it in a transformative manner, educational manner, etc. So not like, oh, you're just reacting to the Super Bowl or just watching anime on stream or anything like that. No, you're actively making different content out of it and you're just restreaming everything verbatim. YouTube decided to take this situation, which is absolutely extreme, and it's probably not going to be the last one of this happening. It certainly was the first one, at least this extremely, by just manually blocking the videos in Japan because the videos were no longer being shown in Japan. There was no Japanese copyright infringement. And maybe I just hope that if this issue with Nijisanji or any other like VTuber agency or similar companies decide to keep this trend going, YouTube could allow us creators to block our videos in certain countries to avoid issues like these. And this is not me trying to encourage weird copyright dodging. This is more that I want to protect people's freedom to create and report, etc., especially on a site like YouTube. And if these companies are going to use the copyright system for it, might as well just use the copyright system to counter it. As to what happens now, Kyo managed to finish all of his counterclaims a few days after he got first claimed, and False has decided to not immediately start counterclaiming because he only had 2 out of 3 strikes, so his channel was not in immediate danger. It is that he decided to send a formal request to Anycolor to retract the strikes. Because if they do see his message and decide to retract the strikes, that process is a lot easier, less tiresome, and safer than just counterclaiming and just hope for the best. Because counterclaiming is also risky, because if there is any party that deems that you are counterclaiming wrongly, are misusing the system or anything similar to that, then you could get in a whole lot more of trouble. The messed up part of this entire situation is that the copyright system on YouTube is favoring the claimer, even though there have been a lot of precedents of the claimer either going absolutely nuclear for anything they don't have any right to, or people pretending to be companies or individuals or claiming they do own the copyright and striking people, and you have very little to stand on. So before I end this video, I just want to go and give my opinion real quick. I personally find this situation very worrying because I don't think companies should censor or silence their critics, because that's what it feels like currently. And I could be wrong, and I would love to be proven wrong, but there's not much else that we can say about it, because from all the evidence presented, it doesn't seem like they're really about the copyright in the thumbnails. It's more about what the videos are about. And I wonder why Anycolor is not just contacting False and Kyo, because exactly for similar reasons to these, False and Kyo have their DMs open. They have contact information available freely for people to contact them in case they are in their videos and they don't like the coverage, they want to have it removed, or they say, hey, this information is false, I want to have it amended, I want to have it cleared up. And with Nijisanji being such a big company and they're even teaming up with Hololive to go against the negativity, surely they could have just messaged them. And that is also like, why are they copy striking and not copy claiming? Because I know for videos, because I've done it in the past against Jonathan, the fastest clipper, I've talked about that whole drama and how YouTube eventually terminated him for copyright reasons. He was like a very toxic clipper, and I used the copyright system to copy claim all the clips of mine that he had posted because I didn't want to remove them. I had the option to copy claim him and copy strike him. I decided to copy claim him because the difference is that if you copy claim, you give the recipient the option to remove the content themselves, and if they don't within a week, it turns into a copy strike anyway and it gets removed by YouTube. So the difference is that they have the option to remove it themselves without any repercussions. The thing with copy strikes is it's immediately gone, and the only thing you can do against it is counterclaim. And it's very harsh, and if there's a lot of it at once, it can cost people their channel. But in the case of Jonathan, I should have copy struck him, but I didn't feel like doing such a harsh thing was right. In hindsight, it was realistic. The defenses I can think of that why Anycolor would do it is that maybe there isn't a way to copy claim thumbnails, or they didn't know that copy striking would terminate these channels. Because I don't want to believe that they were out to get their channels terminated, just the videos removed, which I think is still a step too far. But hey, and like the biggest reason I decided to make this video is because this stuff could eventually affect my own channel or channels of my friends, because even though I have not covered a lot of Nijisanji stuff, I do plan to do so in the future, and it does involve copyrighted content, which with how I make my videos do consider fair use. And I just don't want to see that happen. Like, Nijisanji has already had like a tough year, and doing stuff like this is not really making things any better for them, for their public image, etc. And I also just hope that False and Kyo are the only ones that are gonna be hit, like this is just a two-off thing. But with Kyo, we also thought it was an isolated incident. So we just have to see. It took 10 days after Kyo was hit for False to get hit. So I guess we'll see in 10 more days. Anyway, I think that's about everything I could say. If there are any updates of significant matter that I could make a follow-up video about, I will do so, because I just want to keep you guys informed, and I'm invested in this topic as well, because it's not about just the creators that I love, but it's also about the principle. I will have all the links and sources I've used for all of this in the description down below, with links to everyone mentioned. But yeah, guys, stay informed, and let's hope that this stuff gets resolved real quick. I know that Kyo's either his strikes or the counterclaims are expiring next week. So if Nijisanji doesn't decide to counter his counterclaims, the strikes will be released and he will be able to make videos again. So let's just hope for him it will happen. Let's just hope that everything I've covered here is just the last of it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but also let me know your thoughts on this type of format video. I do want to do it more often, because keeping myself and other people informed, it feels good. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.